So here we are in the Cedar Grove. Here's my campsite. It looks like someone was partying here. What a mess. At least they didn't destroy the furniture. So today we're gonna make coffee, and I'm doing it with this Wick stove. That's lit. Ooh, it's hot. So the recipe today will be 473 milliliters of water and 33 grams of coffee for a strength of 70 grams per milliliter. No, per liter. 70 grams per liter. Now I read online that these things take up to 20 minutes to boil a half liter of water. So we'll see how it does. Alright, our water is boiling. Just about. So we'll add in our coffee. This was freshly ground this morning with my Harrio skirtin. Then we'll stir it up Normally, if you were making coffee in a French press, you wouldn't stir it right away. But this is going to be Cowboy coffee, which is boiled. And now we'll set a timer for 4 minutes. It took about 15 minutes to get to almost the boil. It's a waterproof shelter. Will not evaporate. Indefinite shelf life. Okay, so now we'll remove it from the heat and let it sit for 5 minutes, and then all the grounds should fall to the bottom. It's good. It's about as good as the coffee I make with my French press at home. I couldn't really tell you the difference. Which makes sense, we're doing almost the same thing. One knows my demand of philosophers, that they place themselves beyond good and evil, that they have the illusion of moral judgment beneath them. This demand follows from an insight first formulated by me, that there are no moral facts whatever. Moral judgment has this in common with religious judgment, that it believes in realities which do not exist. Morality is only an interpretation of certain phenomena, more precisely a misinterpretation. Moral judgment belongs, as does religious judgment, to a level of ignorance at which even the concept of the real, the distinction between the real and the imaginary, is lacking, so that at such a level truth denotes nothing but things which we today call imaginings. To this extent, moral judgment is never to be taken literally. As such, it never contains anything but nonsense. But as semiotics, it remains of incalculable value. It reveals to the informed man, at least, the most precious realities of cultures and inner worlds which did not know enough to understand themselves. Morality is merely sign language, merely symptomology. One must already know what it is about to derive profit from it. A first example, merely as an introduction. In all ages, one has wanted to improve men. This, above all, is what morality is meant. But one word can conceal the most divergent tendencies. Both the taming of the beast man and the breeding of a certain species of man has been called improvement. Only these zoological termini express realities. Realities, to be sure, of which the typical improver, the priest, knows nothing, wants to know nothing. To call the taming of an animal its improvement is in our ears almost a joke. Whoever knows what goes on in menageries is doubtful whether the beasts in them are improved. They are weakened, they are made less harmful, they become sickly beasts through the depressive emotion of fear, through pain, through injuries, through hunger. It is no different with the tamed human being who the priest has improved. In the early Middle Ages, when the church was in fact above all a menagerie, one everywhere hunted down the fairest specimens of the blond beast. One improved, for example, the noble Teutons. But what did such a Teuton afterwards look like when he had been improved and led into a monastery? Like a caricature of a human being, like an abortion. He had become a sinner, he was in a cage. One had imprisoned him behind nothing but sheer terrifying concepts. There he lay now, sick, miserable, filled with ill will towards himself, full of hatred for the impulses towards life, full of suspicion of all that was still strong and happy. In short, a Christian. In physiological terms, in the struggle with the beast, making it sick can be the only means of making it weak. This the church understood. It corrupted the human being. It weakened him, but it claimed to have improved him. Friedrich Nietzsche, Twilight of the Idols.